Hi, I'm Matt, and today I'm here with Alessa, and we're going to be interviewing for a marketing management position. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing well, thank you. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions to see if you'd be a good fit for the position. First off, could you go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, as you said, my name is Alessa. I am 21 years old and I have worked at Starbucks for just over 4 years now. And I am currently going to school at Eastern Michigan University for a degree in marketing and business.
Great. How would you define success, and then what kind of role does success play in your life?
I would define success as overall just living a happy and fulfilling life, finding a job and career path that really best suits you to make sure that you can enjoy what you're doing and make the biggest impact you possibly can. Um, I think also making sure you are continuously learning and growing as a person throughout your entire life. I believe that that never stops. And I think to really make a difference in like those that are around you in your community and just the world in general. And I really think to focus on hitting those points, one of the biggest things is having a sort of like sense of empathy for those that are around you, for yourself, a sense of understanding, and also being very open minded. I think being open minded is something that everybody needs to be, and we need to be more of because it helps us understand people and positions better.
Could you tell me about an accomplishment you've had and why you're proud of it?
Yeah, I'm actually in my fourth year of college right now, and every year I have been able to make the dean's list. And I have maintained a 4.0 GPA, which is something that I am very proud of because I have worked very hard for it.
Well, congratulations on that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I want to be graduated with at least a bachelor's degree. I want to be working in a job that genuinely brings me joy and I'm happy with, working with coworkers I work well with. I also want to have a family in the future, so I would love to see myself having a family, being married, and also being able to maintain a good work and home life.
And then, can you tell me about a time you've had to use successful communication to complete a task or a job?
Yeah, at Starbucks, everything we do is centered around communication. There's not one aspect of our job that is not. It goes from communicating with guests and taking orders, communicating with coworkers to make sure we are making the right drinks, asking questions when needed, training. It's all about communication, communicating with our bosses to make sure we're letting them know what we need as workers to make sure that we are functioning at our best ability. Everything that we do is centered around communication.
Okay. And then, can you describe some challenges you faced over the years and how you've handled them and what the outcome was?
Absolutely. I think one of the most common challenges that I do deal with at work is often working a busy shift, typically on Saturdays, and having to train people. There have been a couple times where I have been by myself as a solid worker at Starbucks, and I've had to train two people at a time during our peak rush of the day. And although this is very overwhelming and very challenging and very frustrating, in times where I found myself struggling the most, I will take a second to really just calm myself down, take breaths, get a drink of water, and overall just step back for a minute to be able to control myself to make sure that I am at my peak functionality for myself to make sure it runs better, but to also make the workplace more comfortable for the trainees that I am training because I don't want to make them uncomfortable either.
Like you said, I'm sure you've dealt with some busy rushes. Can you tell me about a time where you've had to work on prioritizing different tasks when you've had a lot to deal with?
Absolutely. I think one thing that really stands out is my bosses actually came to me at one point and asked me to completely reorganize our back room within the time span of 3 days on my own, which at first was very overwhelming. And I did not think I was going to be able to do that. I thought I was going to need at least a week. But through a lot of communicating with them, telling them what I needed, where I needed support, asking questions that I had, making sure I knew exactly what I needed to do and what was expected of me. I was able to form a plan and I was able to get it completely reorganized and overall functioning much better than it was within those 3 days.
And then in the workplace, how would you say that you ensure your work stands out compared to others?
Personally, work ethic is a huge thing to me. I strive to have the best work ethic that I possibly can. I feel like a lot of people tend to plateau when it comes to their work ethic, and that is something I personally never want to do. I always want to be doing better. I always want to be improving, and I'm always seeking constructive criticism in order to do that. I always try to remain like open-minded to make sure that I can function at my best ability, because I do not want to plateau or definitely not decrease in my functionality. I want to make sure that I am maintaining a very positive work ethic and only improving.
And then how would you say you use different types of data to keep up with different trends and customer needs at your job?
I would say the biggest thing is when we are taking our weekly orders to make sure we have enough stock. I think looking at what people are wanting, what they're ordering, looking at those numbers to see what's high in demand, what's low in demand, to really balance out those numbers to see what we need to order. That is a huge role that data plays with that at Starbucks, as well as like pulling our foods, our sandwiches, our pastries, stuff like that. We actually will look back at the previous week in our sales in those departments, and we will pull those foods based off of that number that we sold on each of those days to make sure that we have enough food to sell to people.
So the field of marketing is vastly growing and expanding. How would you say that you stay updated with different tools and technologies in our world?
Um, Social media is it plays a huge role. I know Starbucks corporately will like follow multiple different platforms of social media and will look at what people are wanting and requesting, and will work based off of that. Um, Another thing that was recently added to my location was drive up orders. We did not have them, and it was something that a lot of people were requesting. A lot of people sought after, so that was something that our location hopped on fairly quickly, and we were able to incorporate that in our orders, and we were able to do that in a very in a highly effective way to make sure it was functioning at peak functionality.
Would you be able to discuss a time where you had to use critical thinking on the job?
Absolutely. I think one of the most critical times I use critical thinking at work is when I'm taking orders and I have a guest that comes in and they have no idea what they want. They'll say that they've never been to a Starbucks before. They don't know what they want. They don't know what to order and are completely overwhelmed by the menu. My first instinct is to just ask them what they personally like, what kind of desserts, what kind of flavors, if they like caramel, if they like chocolate, kind of just going off of like what they like, to really take my knowledge over at Starbucks of what we have and what I can make, and to create a drink that I think that they will really enjoy. And even if they don't like it, I ensure them that if they don't like it, all they need to do is tell me, and I will happily create them something else that I think will better suit them.
It's great. And then I have one final question for you. Would you be able to share an example of how you or your company adapts to different shifts in the industry?
Absolutely. I would say our cup sales is probably the biggest aspect that a lot of people could probably assume. We have multiple different holiday, different seasonal launches of many different cups and cup designs. I feel like a lot of our cup designs are based off of what people are asking for, whether it is a certain topic, whether it's a certain artist or a certain style, something like that. It's all centered around what people are requesting and what they're wanting, as well as like our different sauces and syrups that are being brought in. I know previously for the past 4 years that I have worked, we did not have gingerbread for our holiday drink launch. And this year, actually, yesterday, they brought back gingerbread after many people have been asking for it for the past years. So that is also a great example of just listening to what people are wanting and bringing in what they want.
I would say I do think your abilities and experiences would make you a strong candidate for this position. I would like to thank you for your time, and I'll go ahead and reach out to you regarding your status in the future.
Thank you.